Hi guys, this is Ashok Reddy. Last class we discussed access modifiers and packages. Today we will discuss variables and types of variable. What is the variable? Today our agenda is what is a variable, different types of variables and in Java, how to access the variables, data or value, how many ways we can access the variable, lifetime and scope of the variable, static, final, volatile and transient keyword. Okay. Later we will add more point, any important point we will add here. Okay. This is the our agenda. What is the variable? Variable is a container. Variable is a container which is used to store, only one value at a time, not store multiple value while executing the Java program. Okay. For example, for example, int a equal 10. Whenever I am creating int a, whenever allocating a variable, a is a variable, int is a data type, that time you can store 4 bytes, creating memory, 4 bytes of memory. Okay. Now I have to initialize, a equal 10. A 10 value I want to store in a variable. Okay. If I am trying to store another variable, if I want to store another variable, you can write 10 equal 20. Then 20 can replace old value. Okay. For example, I am showing diagrammatically. Here is the, whenever we are allocating a int data type, here a is a variable. Whenever integer data type, it is a 4 bytes of memory creating. Correct? Na? Memory creating. Once you have to assign the value, once you have to initialize the value, that is 10. Okay. If you want to modify or assigning replacing value, then it will replace, instead of old value you can replace 20. Okay. Here what happened? Like that. 10 replaced 20. Okay. Old value you can replace new value. Okay. Then what is a variable? Variable is a container which is used to store only one value at a time while executing the Java program. Oh, in you guys can remember in Java, whenever whenever you want to store data or value in Java, 4 ways we can store. One is one is variable. Second one is object. Third one is files. Fourth one is database, DB. Okay. If you want to store only one value, already we discussed data type concept. Whenever we want to store only one value, then we want to store only one value, the primitive data type comes into picture. If you want to store multiple value, object, okay, what is arrays, class, interface, enum, that is the reference data type. If you want to store only one value, that is primitive data type. Multiple value if you want to store, that is reference data type. Correct na? This is the, if you want to store, this is way, if you want to store value in a variable or object, that data is temporarily, not permanent. Correct na? Then files and data, if you want to store files in a data, if you want to store in a files or database, that is permanent. You guys can remember these points. Okay. Then next, variable is used to store data temporarily, not permanent. Okay, and object also temporary. Okay, syntax of the variable: access modifier, modifiers, data types, variable name equal value. This is the syntax of the variable. This access mod last class we discussed access modifier. Four types of access modifier is there: public, private, protect, default. Correct? Then already discussed data types also, and okay, already I showed this is the data types: int, float, double float, float, double, char, like that. Okay, then modifier I did not discuss, but already I told you what are the modifiers. I will show you. In keyword that time we discuss. This is static, final, abstract, synchronize, native, strict FP, and transient volatile. These are the modifiers. Okay, these are the modifiers. Then we will today in variable concept we will discuss what is static, final, and transient and volatile. Okay, remaining we will discuss later whenever times come. Then we will discuss. Okay, we will discuss four keywords: static, final, transient, and volatile. Okay, yeah. Here access modifier. Here access modifier is optional. Access modifier is optional, and modifier also optional. That is not mandatory, but this is mandatory. Data type and and variable name and value. This is the mandatory. For example, public static int x equals 10. Okay. Public is a access modifier, static is a modifier, int is a data type, x is a variable, 10 is a value. Okay. Then tell me how many types of variables is there? Variables are divided into three types. One is instant variable, one is instant variable, static variable, third one is local variable. Okay. For example, if you declare variable as a static, already if you declare variable as a static, that is static variable. For example, public static int a equal 10. If you declare variable as static, that is static variable. If you are not declare variable as a static, that is non-static variable. Like that. Here, I don't want to declare static. This is non-static variable. If you declare variable as a static, that is static variable. If you are not declare variable as a static, that is non-static variable. Local variable inside method, for example, public void add method. Okay, inside add method, I am going to write. Suppose I am addition int a comma int b. Okay, this is the parameter. This is the local. This is also local variable inside parameter, and int sum equal to a plus b into sum equal a plus b. Here what happen? If I am passing a comma b, then it will add a plus b. Sum is a suppose 5 and b equal to 10. Then 10 plus 5 how much? 5 plus 10 how much? 15. Okay, like that it will add. Okay, this is also inside method. You can declare as a local variable. Inside method you can declare variable as a local variable and parameter also local variable. Okay. Then this is the, for example, class, where this is the class, this variable underscore test is the class name. This is the static static variable, static variable. This is the instant variable, instant variable, instant variable, and this is the local variable. This is also method, right? Local variable. This is the static variable. This is the instant variable. This is the local variable. Okay. Then this is also main method. Correct? Na? Inside method, if you declare variable inside method, that is local variable. Okay. Then can we execute this one? Just tell me. Int x, which value we can access? Int x is a static variable, correct na? X equal 10 and y equal 20. X equal 10 and y equal 20. Okay. Then here a non-static variable, b is a non-static variable. But you guys can remember, if you declare, if you static variable you can access directly. Static variable you can access directly. You can access static variable, you can access directly, or class name dot variable with class name direct. We can access directly identifier or class name, and also how many ways we can access static variable whenever asking question. You can say we can access static variable. We can access 4 ways. I will tell you. One, you can access it directly identifier. One is the class name with class name, by using class name. One is by using object reference variable, and another one is the null reference variable also. Okay, I will tell you later. But you guys remember only one point. Static variable you can access directly, but whenever we want to access, non-static variable, we cannot access directly. You guys can remember one more time. Non-static variable we cannot access directly with identifier. A is a identifier. This variable you cannot access directly. By using object, you can access. By you are trying to access directly, you will get the compile time error. Okay. If you want to access, then you can create object, and then you can access. Okay. This is the local variable. Local variable, you can, this is a non-static, but local variable you can access directly. Local variable, you guys can remember, local variable, very, very important. Local variable you can access directly. But outside of the method, this is the method, outside of the method, that is non-static variable. If outside of the method block, this is also block. We can say block, open close, that is also block. Okay. But outside of the method, can declare non-static variable. Okay. Not inside method. You guys can remember. Okay. Then one more time. If you declare variable as a static, that is static variable. If you not declare variable as a static outside of the method or block or constructor, then that is instant variable. Okay. But inside method or block or constructor, the declare, that is the local variable. Okay. If you want to access, how many ways we can access static variable? I will tell you right now. Okay, you guys can remember. You can access 4 ways. You can access static variable. One is identifier, mean variable directly. You can access variable, and class name by using class name, and by using object. Okay, and one more also, null reference variable. Everyone saying three types of variable, but now I am going to tell you that is four ways we can access static variable. You guys can remember. Okay, I will show you practically. Okay, but you guys can remember whenever static variable we cannot access directly by using object and another one by using object. You can access static variable by using object. One more is uh, this keyword. Okay, I will discuss deep this keyword later. Right now, I will tell you. Okay, how to access non-static variable by using object and one is this keyword. Okay, by use object reference variable. One is this keyword we can access. Okay, this non-static variable. But you guys can remember local variable we can access directly. Local variable you can access directly, but but local variable we cannot access outside of the method. We cannot access outside of the method. Okay, we cannot access outside of the methods. Which one? Static way, local variable. Okay, but local variable here inside static method, you guys can remember very important. Inside static method, you cannot declare a variable as a static. Cannot declare variable as a static. Okay, that time you will get the compile time error. Okay, I will show you practically. Okay, I think so. Now clear everything. I will show you practically. Now we'll see. Already I have a program. This is the int a equal 10, int b equal to 20. This is static variable. This is non-static variable. And this is the method. Inside method, I am going to access this dot x. Already I told by using object instant variable you can access two ways. One is by using object creation by using create object after that by using reference variable you can access x v1 dot x and v1 dot y like that we can access. This is the non-static variable we can access. This is the way. Okay, one more point. This is the one more is by using object reference variable you can access. One more is this keyword. Okay, then how to access local variable. You can access local variable directly. You can access directly local variable L comma M. You can access directly L comma M. Yeah, sorry, L M. Directly you can access. No need to create an object. Okay. But static variable, how to access static variable? Static variable we can access directly. Static variable you can access directly with identifier and by using what is by using class name and one more is by using object also. Okay, I will tell you right now. You can we compile now? For example, how to compile? Control plus one. Yeah, compilation is successful. Now, can we run now? Control 2. Yes, we are getting. Just see. Just you guys can. I think so. You guys can know. Um, Execution is start from main method and execution is end with main method. Execution is start with main method and end with main method. Here int L equal 50, int M equal 60. After that variable, this is the class name dot A. Class name dot A is what is this? This is the class name dot A equal 10. 10 we are printing, right? Then next B. You guys can see cursor, my cursor. B what is the value? 20. B is a 20. 1 minute. Okay. Now here execution is start from main method and execution end with execution start with main method and end with main method. Now we'll see. Now we'll start here int l equal 50, int m equal 60. This is a local variable. Here I am printing static variable. How many ways we can access? I told already. This is class name dot a. This is the directly we can access static variable. Okay. See, this is the how to print. This is the 10. What is the output here? 10. Class name dot a. This is the class variable is a. Class name dot a equal 10. B equal 20. You can access b equal 20. You guys can observe output here. And here how to access non-static variable, we can create the object and v1 dot x and v1 dot y. What is this? This is 10 to year 30 and y value is 40. Okay. Then this is the non-static variable how to access. This is the one way. And second way, I am going to call v1 dot add. v1 dot add. It is calling to v1 dot calling to add method and going to add method and I am going to access int this dot x. This means you can access current object of the class. What is the current here? Current object of the variable. Current object of the variable you can refer. Okay. This is the v1 variable. This is the object. Then by using v1 we can access the method. This is the this dot x. This dot y is a variable. This is x. How much x equal? In this dot x equal 30, this dot y equal 40. Okay, how much sum is how much is 30 plus 40? 70. Correct na? Here 70. Okay. Addition of x and y variable is 70. Then addition of x and y is 70. Then we can back here. Then we are printing local variable L comma LM. What is the data? 50, 60. It is printing, right? This is the local variable. This is the local variable. This is the static variable. This is the instant variable. And this one is the local variable. Correct? Na? Then next. Here, you guys can remember in one class, we can create by using same class, we can create multiple object, number of object. There is no restriction. Okay, we can create multiple object. But here I am trying to modify v2 dot x. v2 dot x. What is x is a? X is a almost 30. X equal 30. This is the non-static variable. I am trying to modify 200. I'm trying to modify x variable in 200. Okay. Then it will print v2 dot x is 200. v2 dot x is 200. Correct na? Now instead of 30, you can replace 200. Correct na? Here we are modifying. Okay. You guys can we are modifying or reassigning. Assigning. Okay. New value you can assigning. Okay. Then here this is the v2 object. Correct na? This is another object. Okay. This one is another object. But I am going to access v1 dot x. After modifying x variable also we can access v1 dot x. But what we are printing? 30. Here we are printing 30 only because this whenever creating object, then own copy of the instant variable. Okay. Instant variable you can if you are trying to modify under this object only. Okay. This object only, not this object. Okay. Okay, we can copy multiple copies we can create. Okay, multiple copies of the object we can create. Okay, then I discuss. Okay, then now I think so you guys can understood. One minute, guys. Take that pen. Okay, yeah. Now we'll revise all those things. What is the variable? Variable is used to store. Variable is a container which is used to store only one value at a time while executing the program. Okay. Then what is the syntax of variable? Access modifier, data type, variable name equal value. Okay. This is the syntax of variable. Okay. This is the example. How many ways? How many? Three types of variable is there. One is instant variable, one is static variable, another third one is local variable. This is the example. Then we'll discuss theoretically here. What is the definition of static variable? The variable which are declared inside a class but outside of any method or block or constructors are known as instant variable. Already I told outside of the method you can declare static variable, but inside of the method you can declare as a variable, can declare that is the you can declare local variable. Inside of the method is a local variable. Okay, but a non-static variable you can declare inside of the class, but outside of any method or block or constructor are known as instant variable. Here we can access the instant variable in two ways. We can access the instant variable in two ways by using this keyword, and second one is by using the class object or class instance. You guys can remember instance mean creation of the object. Instance mean object only. You guys, this word you guys can remember. Instance mean object. Instantiation also object. Okay, this already I explained. How many ways we can access instant variable? Two ways. One is this keyword, another one is class object. Okay. For instant variable, JVM will automatically initialize. Instant variable, JVM will automatically initialize them with their default value of the data type. Already I discussed on data type. What is the default value of int? Default value of the int is a I told default value is 0. Okay, integer data type default value is 0. But floating point data type is and 0.0 no, I think. Yeah. Okay. Then character is default value slash u like that. Okay. But boolean is the false. But string, okay, string is a null or object also null. Okay. I will show you practically. No, here I have to change instant variable. I'm not going to initialize only creation. This is the creation. It is allocating whenever variable as a int data type, that is allocating four bytes of memory, but by default integer default value is 0. Integer default value is 0. We'll see. Saving, control 1. The compile is successful. Control 2. Just see here. Here is x is default value 0. Okay. Then one more also we will discuss. We'll see static also. Control S. Control 1, compilation successful. Control 2, yes, this is also integer. By default value is 0. Correct na? Hmm. Then, okay, I'm saving. Go to, okay. Next, for instant variable, JVM will automatically initialize them with their default value of the data type. If instant variable, if instant variable and local variable are having same name, instant variable and local variable are the same name, then first priority will be given to the local variable only. For example, instant variable and local variable are the same name. First priority given the local variable. Can we try now? Yeah. Now here int x equal 30 into y equal 40. This is the instant variable. For example, this is the local variable, correct na? This is the local, this inside method also local variable. We will try here. And what is that? Int x equal, int x equal 100. Okay. System dot out dot, sorry, println. We can say local, local, where from the add method. Okay. What is the variable x? We'll see. How to can concatenate and get like that, you can print. Okay. Control S, saving. After the control 1, compilation is successful. Control 2, running. Yeah. What is the local variable of the add method? That is x equal 10. Which one is printing? Local variable is the first priority. Correct na? If you are not, what is that? Then second one is, what is that? Oh, then second one, fifth point. For every instant, instant mean object. For every object, for every object, separate copy of instant variable. For every object, separate copy of instant variable will be created. Already I told separate object, sorry, separate copy of instant variable will be created. If you create multiple object, if you are creating multiple object, separate copy of instant variable will be created. Already I told here. Here is the one object. Here is the one object I created here. Here is the one object created. Correct na? But variable is the separate copy of the object. Separate, correct na? Separate copy of the instant variable will be created, but not static variable. Okay, but you guys can remember, but whenever creating object, separate copy of instant variable will be created. For example, you are modify this variable reflected here only, not here. Okay, not here. Okay, this is the different object. This is the different object. The separate copy of variable. This is the separate copy of variable. This is separate copy of the. Okay, I think you guys can clear, right? Mm. Mean how many object, sorry, mean how many objects are we are creating inside a class, those many copies of instant variable will be created. Correct na? How many objects are creating inside a class, those many copy of instant variable will be created. Okay. Static variable. The variable, the variables are declared, the variables are declared inside a class, outside any method or and inside any method or block or constructor, and with the help of static keyword. Correct now? One more time. Static variable, these variables are declared inside a class, outside any method or block or constructor with the help of static. Simply outside method you can declare variable as a static, that is static variable. If you are not declare, if you not declare static, that is non-static variable. Simply you guys can remember. Okay. Static variable will be initialized at the time of class loading. You guys, very, very important. You guys, everyone confusing. I will show you later diagrammatically, but later, this time you guys can remember static variable will be initialized at the time of class loading, but non-static variable while creating object, after while creating object that is initializing the non-static variable, but static variable will be initialized at the time of class loading. But I will show you diagrammatically. Now, right now, you guys can remember this point. Okay. We can access static variable in three ways. We can access static variable in three ways. Tomorrow I will show you how in JVM in JVM architecture I will discuss later, but I will start tomorrow onward little bit. Three types of static method. Three areas is there: method area and method area, heap area, and one more is the stack area. Okay, heap area, sorry, method area, heap area, one more is stack area. Whenever Java stack area, whenever creating object, you guys can remember, but I will explain you later, but tomorrow diagrammatically, but very, very important tomorrow class. Okay, I will show you diagrammatically. Right now, you guys can remember three method is I will show you tomorrow. Leave it that one. Static variable will be initialized at the time of class loading. We can access static variable in three ways by using, sorry, you guys can remember everyone saying three ways, but we are saying four ways. Okay. We can access static variable in four ways by using identifier name and by using class object and is the class name. Fourth one is null by using null reference also by using null reference variable also by using null reference variable also. Okay. By using null reference object also. Okay. I will show you now. This is the four ways I will show you. Okay. This is the one way. Sorry. This is the one way. First one is identifier by using class name. This is the second way. Third way, we can create object. Okay. For example, I am creating an object. I am calling to copy this one. Sorry. I am creating an object. After that, I am accessing static variable. Okay. Static variable. Save it. Now, what is that? By using object. Correct, na? By using class object. What is that? That is A. Control S, control 1, compilation successful. Control 2, that is running. Okay. We'll see. This is the static variable. And where is that? This is the variable A, correct? Na? What is it? By using class object, correct? Na? Mm, by using class object A equal 10. Okay. This is the one way, this is the second way, this is the third way. Fourth way, by using null reference. We'll see. For example, one more object I am creating. Multiple object we can create. Okay, that is no issue. This is the I am assigning null reference variable v1. Sorry, don't write same name. Okay, different way. Reference variable is different always, not unique only. Okay, v2. Oh, sorry, already v2 also there. I have to say v3. Okay, system dot. I think already saved. No? Okay, set. Sorry guys. System dot out dot println. Here, what is this? By using what is this? v3 dot b. I'm trying to access b. Okay, that is static variable, right? By using null reference variable. Okay, space b is the b. Save it. Control S, control 1, control 2. By using null reference variable, correct? Na? B equal 20. Yeah, just give space. That is better like that. Okay. Then, okay. Yeah, I showed you 4 ways. Whenever interview asking question, how many ways we can access static variable? We can access 4 ways. One is by using identifier, class object, only the class name, and by using null reference variable. Okay. Then for static variable, JVM will automatically initialize them with their default value of the data type. Already I showed you. If you declare only, you can create. Already I showed no. Int, you can declare static int a automatically. That default value is int is a 0. Okay. Already I show you practical. Correct? Na? Static variable JVM will automatically initialize them with their default value of the data type. If static variable and local variable are having same name, static variable and local variable are having same name, then first priority will be to the local variable. Always you guys can remember local variable only priority. Okay. Then I will show. I think you no need to explain, right? This one. This is the static variable, and for example, I'm int int a equal to 1000. Then it will print a only. Correct? Na? Control 1, control 2. Here is int a, variable a. Directly we can access na class name dot a. So that's why it will access directly. If you are trying to give directly, that is not working. Okay, we can do like this. Okay, control S, control 1. Compilation is successful. I'm going to close this one. Again, guys, close this one. Old one is closing. Yeah, control S, control 1. Yeah, control 2. Just see here, local variable only give priority, right? Can directly can access. This is local variable only can access. Correct, na? But this is the class name dot a. Going to class dot a, you can access like that. Okay. I will show you that is the hiding with variable hiding. I will show you that one later. And one more thing point. Yeah, static variable can never be a local variable. You guys can remember, static variable can never be a local variable. Just can see. Hmm, this is the local variable. If I am trying to, this is the local variable, correct? Na? If I am declare static, then control S, control 1, yeah, illegal state of the expression, correct? Na? Static int a equal, that is not allowed, okay? Inside method static not allowed. You guys can remember that one. Yes, one more. Static variable can never be a local variable. There will be only one copy of static variable available in the entire program. You guys, already I told you non-static variable. Here, static variable, there will be only one copy of static variable available in the entire program. But instant variable is a separate copy of instant variable will be created. Static variable, separate copy of instant variable will be created. I told you, this is how many objects are creating inside a class, those many copy of instant variable will be created. Okay. You guys can remember this point. Otherwise, you guys can confuse whenever interview asking question. This is very, very important. Then local variable. The variable which are declared, the variable which are declared inside method or block or constructor is known as local variable. Simple. Inside, if you declare inside method or block or constructor can declare as a variable, that is a local variable. The variable which are declared inside a method or block or constructor are known as local variable. We can access local variable. We can access local variable only with the help of identifier name. Already LM, we declare int LM, right? Directly we can access. Okay. We can access local variable only with the help of identifier name. Okay. The scope of local variable is only within the method. You guys can remember, local variable we cannot access outside of the method. Okay. See, the method local variable only within the method only we can access. It means we cannot access local variable outside of the method. You guys can remember. For local variable, for local variable, JVM JVM will not assign any default value. Very, very important. Static variable and non-static variable, we can if you are not initializing by default, but default value of data type, it will give, correct na? But JVM local variable, if for local variable, JVM will not assign any default value. It is responsibility of the programmer to initialize. Who is the responsibility? Programmer to initialize. Okay. If you are trying to without initialize, you are trying to access, you will get the compile time error. Okay. If you are declaring a local variable, if we are declaring a local variable, if we are not using that variable, then our program will be executed normally. Sorry, guys. Sorry. If we are declaring a local variable, if we are not using that variable, then our program will be executed normally. But if we are using local variable without initializing, we will getting an compile time error. Okay. If you are trying, if you without initializing, you can access that you are getting compile time error. If you are trying to access without initializing, that you will get the compile time error. Which one? This is local variable. Local variable you can initialize. You guys can remember that is the difference. Yeah. Now, so many people are suffering variable terminology. Okay. Variable terminology. Okay. Now, I will show you variable declaration. Variable terminology. One is the variable declaration, variable definition, variable initialization, variable assignment, and variable accessing. So many people are confusing. Then you guys can remember, okay, this point. What is the variable terminology? Variable declaration. For example, this one, int, int x. Whenever you are declaring a variable as int, that is 4 bytes of memory. Int is a 4 bytes of memory it will allocating. Okay. This is variable declaration. This is the variable declaration. Very, very important. This is variable terminology. This is variable definition. Suppose int y equal 20. This is the, if you are assigning a, if you initializing a variable directly, initializing 20 value in a variable, that is a definition. Int y equal 20. Declaration and assigning initialization. Declaration and initialization is at a time we are doing here. Okay. This is the variable definition. Variable declaration like that. Variable definition we directly can assign, initialize variable. Okay. Then third one is how to initialize. Already we declare int x is a declaration. I am going to, I am not initialize that x value. Now I am going to initialize x equal, for example, 30. X equal 30. Now this is the initialization. Okay. Here here declaration and initialization at same line we are doing, but here initialization. Okay. Variable assignment. Here how to assign, already I initialize x equal 30. Already I initialize x equal 30. I am going to reassign the value. Okay. X equal 40. X equal 40. I am old value here. I am old value. I am old value. I am old value. I am assigning 40. Instead of old value, I am assigning new value. That is 40. If you are trying to access system.out.sopln, then you will get the old value or new value. You will get the new value. That is 40, not 30. Okay. Like that. Then one more thing. Here, variable accessing. For example, int z equal int z equal to x. Here, What is the variable of x? X is a 40. I'm get the value from I get the value from x. This x value assigned to the z. What is the z value now? Z value is 40. Okay. Then whenever I am SOPLN is z, then you will get the 40. Okay. Basically, this is the one more time variable declaration. This is the variable definition. Variable definition. What is the variable definition? Here, definition and initialization at the same line I am doing here. Okay. That is the variable definition. Initialization means already declare, but I am not initialize here. But first time I am going to assign the initialize the value. Correct? Na? Already I assigned, but I am going to reassign the value. Instead of old value I am giving new value, that is 40. This is the assignment. This is accessing mean reading. Already value is available. Directly I am going to access like that. You can say system.out.println. This is also fine. You will get the 40. Then basically we will do two things on a variable: variable declaration and variable accessing. This is extra I'm going to explaining. So many people are confusing. That's why I'm going to explaining. Don't feel boring. This is the very important. Okay. Whenever I'm explaining, you guys can easily understood. Okay. This terminal is very important. Variable declaration and variable accessing. Memory create here whenever declaring a variable. I already told whenever we are declaring a variable, memory created. 4 bytes of memory created. Whenever accessing, this is the existing memory will be using. Suppose defining, definition, and accessing and modifying and reading. This CUD operation you guys can remember. Creation. Here variable declaration memory only creating, right? Example, creation mean declaration. Creation, how to create the how to create the memory. Only you can see int x can declare like that 4 bytes of memory allocating. This is the declaration in creation. How to store the variable? By using definition. Already int can write same line also, that is write new line also, that is fine. Int y equal to 10 also fine. Okay. Int x equal 10, but don't write I am declaring same line. Okay. Definition. This is storing. But how to modify? Already x value is 10, but same thing I have to initialize. I am going to modify x equal 40. But how to accessing mean reading. Suppose system.out.println x. This is the x value 10. Okay. Yeah. Tomorrow we will discuss very important class tomorrow. That is diagrammatically I am going to explain. And today I covered what is the variable and different types of variables in Java. How many types of variable is there? 3 types of variable, that is static variable, instant variable, local variable. Okay. How to access the variable? How to access the variable? Variable data. Just you guys can remember here variable nothing but how to access the static variable, how to access the non-static variable, how to access the local variable. 3 points I covered. Okay. How many ways you can access the how many ways we can access the static variable, non-static, same question. Okay. How many ways we can access? I told you static variable you can access 4 ways, and non-static variable you can access 2 ways. Correct now? But life, this is I'm not going to explain. Tomorrow I'm going to explain these 2 points. Okay. Thank you guys. I think so you guys can understood clearly, and please uh, subscribe and share my videos, and if you have any doubt, please comment in please comment. And if you are not understood, if you are not in if you are I am not good, then you can like or dislike, that is whatever it may be. Please like and subscribe my videos and share also. Thank you guys.